I've lost count how many self-reflect posts I read in the past couple of years on weight loss forums, be it Reddit or whatnot, about how most people ended up in a vicious cycle of weight gain for probably the dumbest of reasons. People that embark on weight loss journeys typically start journaling their food intake amongst other things that most likely led to them on the far right side of the BMI scale. But what they fail to realize is there is an epidemic on its own lingering in the background of most people's lives, typically those that end up in the situation mentioned previously. You would be surprised at how actually common it is to end up in a calorie surplus for reasons other than eating purely out of hunger. Today's society is riddled with problems mostly associated with mental health, and this leads to horrible eating patterns like stress eating, emotional eating, some kind of trigger eating that create this sort of bottomless weight gain hole which could make it practically impossible to get out of. You could make the argument that almost half of the population that struggles from obesity has at least somewhat struggled from indulging in some form of stress coping way of eating. What I'm talking about, of course, is boredom eating. I believe this is probably the number one worst thing you could possibly do to your waistline, and even just your overall health, really. Being bored in of itself doesn't have to be a bad thing. You don't need to constantly keep your mind occupied with whatever dopamine eliciting activity you typically do. And that, of course, includes food. If you're someone who's weighing on the lower end of the BMI scale, typically under 200 pounds, you already have a pretty decent idea that even the smallest quantities of food matter. We're talking differences of between 100 to even just 200 calories that could make or break your weekly weight loss goals. The best way to make sure you're journaling correctly is to cut out boredom eating entirely. As a matter of fact, you could jumpstart your entire weight loss journey by simply making this one change, and not even embark on any actual workout regime or diet. Try to simply eat whenever your hunger strikes, as opposed to temptation by seeing others eat, or whenever you see a coworker handing out free donuts or whatnot. Exclusively only eat when your stomach starts to make noises, and you'll notice a world of difference. Now, if you struggle with some particular foods you absolutely crave, at least save them for when you actually get hungry. And make sure whenever you get triggered to eat for reasons other than actual hunger, you could literally just try to drink water or some other low-calorie beverage, like sugar-free soda or tea. By doing this, you automatically set yourself up for success down the line for one big reason. You have now made a conscious choice in your head that whenever you get a trigger to eat out of any of the aforementioned reasons other than actual hunger, you'll give yourself an actual tangible goal to aspire towards. One catered specifically towards helping slim down and reach a body composition you always wanted.